Well, Russia and the
C'est
world woke up to
irréplaçable.
extraordinary scenes of an enormous mushroom cloud, smoke billowing dozens, scores of feet into the air over a uh, factory in the Moscow region, the district outside the Russian capital. It's the Zagorsk plant. It makes optics, at least that's what we understand it used to do. That's what it was listed as doing. And those optics were parts that were used in Russian missiles, in fighter jets, in weapons and in night vision goggles. So effectively, there's been a huge explosion, an unexplained explosion on the site of a factory that makes military parts. Russian officials are saying that 45 people have been wounded and 5 of them very seriously. We know from social media videos posted in Russia that the force of the explosion has blown out windows many blocks away from the actual explosion. So an immensely powerful blast. Russian officials saying that it was a pyrotechnics warehouse, that actually the factory had leased out a warehouse on its site to a fireworks company. Now, those claims have been met with significant disbelief here in Ukraine. Now, we don't know what caused this explosion or who was behind it, but the fact is that when something goes bang in Moscow, people are asking, is this the work of Ukraine? And the reason people are asking that question is because Ukraine has launched a series of successful drone attacks on the Russian capital with aerial vehicles. It's also launched a series of successful attacks on Russian shipping with maritime vehicles. Now, the very fact that Ukraine has developed and demonstrated this capability whilst it's been engaged in a fight for its existence on its own territory is an enormous victory for Ukraine. People in Russia and indeed people around the world are aware of Ukraine's capability to take the fight into Russia. Ukraine was a country that was invaded, but they are fighting back by trying to damage Russia's military supply chain. And one way of doing that would be to try and disable or disrupt industrial production of weapons. Now, we don't know for certain whether that is what happened here, but it certainly would appear to have been, from a Ukrainian point of view, a legitimate military target, because this was a plant that was listed as making parts for missiles and weapons that are being used against Ukraine in Vladimir Putin's war.